In this jungle,
there he goes, Chase. Hello. Best in the league. Number one makes him pay for it.
there's only one king.
Guess who became the Triple Crown winner?
Chase goes in motion.
Every snap, a scene.
Jamar Chase is putting on one of the great shows in Bengals history.
Every play, a performance.
The 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Jamar Chase doing the gritty.
Where instinct becomes art, and chaos becomes choreographed.
To the 40, up the middle of the field to the 30, racing to the 35, bounce sideline 45, 50, 45.
Two teams, one stage. Let the show begin.
The Bengals cap off the 3-game homestand before the bye week as the team looks to get back on track in Week 9. Welcome in to Bengals Weekly. I'm Marissa Contipelli. The Chicago Bears make their way to Paycor Stadium for just the 6th time in this rivalry, as Cincinnati looks to take the lead in the all-time series before hitting the bye. So as we get you set for this AFC versus NFC North matchup, we had not one, but 2 players mic'd up Sunday. And we'll take you down to field level to listen in to Joe Flacco and T. Higgins. Chase Brown found the end zone twice last week, and we sit down with the running back to talk all about the recent surge in the run game. The team looks to get back in the win column this weekend and start off November on the right foot. And we'll talk with some of the guys in the locker room as they prepare for the Bears. And on Countdown, I'll tell you what T. Higgins needs on Sunday to write his name into the Bengals record books. But first, giving back to the community is something the organization and the players take pride in. And back in October, the team welcomed in local students to Paycor Stadium for a little football and fun in the Cincinnati sun. Here is this week's From the Jungle.
The message that EverFi and Character Playbook puts together, it's the importance of having good character to be able to, fight through adversity, whether it's in sports or life, to be able to be kind to one another, to be a good teammate, to be a good community member. Those type of lessons that were provided today will be everlasting for these kids.
Just try and hit the ball kind of like right there, all right? Oh, you got the power. Plan a little bit closer because you hit it off your toe.
As you know, a lot of these kids really look up to professional athletes. The message that they provided, I really think brings a little bit more meaning to it.
I just want to thank y'all for coming out. And one thing that I'll leave you with is that a person's character is tested by what they do when no one's watching. And with that, you guys get lunch. Everyone loves lunch.
It's a glorious 55-degree fall day here in Cincinnati, where a sudden sense of optimism and excitement permeate the air.
1, 2, 3, cue.
Thanks to the arrival of a certain veteran quarterback with the championship pedigree.
40-year-old Joe Flacco looks to lead the Bengals to their 2nd straight win as the Bengals host the New York Jets.
I keep forgetting I'm mic'd up. I just forgot that quick.
You score, you turn around, look at the bench, you see the cameras on your ass,
They're going to leave their offense on the field even though they are in their own territory at the 37-yard line. The crowd looks to become the 12th man for the defense. Fields is under center. We'll see if it's a quarterback sneak. They toss it right. Hall in trouble, tackled for a loss at the 35-yard line. Rookie linebacker Barrett Carter, and a risky decision by Aaron Glenn blows up in his face. The Bengals take over with a short field. They lead it 3-0.
As the Jets come up short on a 4th and less than a yard, Flacco sells it well, completes back to the tight end Fant.
Joe Flacco is under center. Sample gets right behind him for a tush-push. Touchdown, Bengals, as Joe Flacco runs it in from inches away. Having been stopped earlier on 4th and 1, Aaron Glenn elected to try to get points, and it worked. He gets the 46-yard field goal. It's a 10-3 score. Bengals have a 10-3 lead here in the second quarter. Flacco fakes a toss to the left, bootlegs right, throws it high and deep. T. Higgins catches at the 5, runs into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals! A beautiful rainbow downfield by Joe Flacco. Higgins with the catch. He hands the ball to a spectator, and the Bengals have their second touchdown of the day.
Let's see 1-5 out there. We do this. I mean, get the f out the way. It's an ISO.
Out the way.
As Breece Hall Large runs for a first down. It's the drive starter they were hoping for.
Fields fakes a handoff. It's a deep drop, fires over the middle, and a leaping catch is made in Bengals territory. Jets are going to go for it. 4th down and 2. The fans rise. Fields catches the shotgun snap. He throws toward the end zone, and it's an over-the-shoulder catch for a Jets touchdown. 1:47 left in the half. Cincinnati looking to add to a 7-point lead.
180! What's it on?
Back to throw, passes over the middle, caught on the run. Chase Brown to the 5, fighting for the goal line. He's in! Touchdown! Bengals! Flacco accounting for his 3rd touchdown of the first half.
Yeah! Oh, you cold, boy! I got you out, bro. That's yours. Hey, good ass catch, good ass finish, boy.
Jets have now scored on 4 out of their last 5 drives. Fortunately for the Bengals, they've settled for field goals 3 times. 3rd down and 12. Bengals are 3 for 6 on 3rd down conversion. Flacco from the pocket, under pressure, takes off and runs. He's at the 40, and he's got the first down. Samaje Perine runs up the middle, inside the 20, racing to the 15, 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
Go! Let's go! Let's go!
Cincinnati leads the Jets 31-16, but the Jets have the ball to begin the 4th quarter.
Handoff Hall. Hall in for the Jets touchdown.
The Jets will go for 2.
Fields steps up. Fields under duress. Pulls it back. He's going to run, and he gets it.
The Bengals took a 15-point lead to the 4th quarter against an 0-7 team, and they are clinging to that lead by a thread. And the New York Jets have it 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. It's a toss sweep to the right. Breece Hall looking to throw. Pump fakes, throws into the end zone, and it is caught.
Jets have erased a 15-point 4th quarter deficit, taking a 1-point lead.
Well, we still kind of went down and got the touchdown in the 4th quarter, but, they had 2 stops come up late. 1 or 2 plays don't kind of hit. You don't convert a 3rd down, and that's how it goes. I think this is a team sport, and we're all in this together.
Y'all boys look good. Y'all boys look good.
Coming up next, we go inside the helmets of not 1, but 2 offensive stars. Mic'd Up with Joe and T is just after the break. Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. AltaFiber, the official Wi-Fi and internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. Now, typically we are fortunate to go inside the helmet of a player during a game. But this week, we have a special treat for you. And no, I'm not talking about the candy that you might have received trick-or-treating. I'm talking about us having 2 players on the hot mic this week. So let's Flacco round and tee up this mic'd up content.
Let's go! Let's go! I keep forgetting I'm mic'd up. I just forgot that quick. Oh, they say he ready for battle. Oh, they say he ready for battle. Yes, sir. Q's on 3. 1, 2, 3. Q's. Y'all boys look good. Y'all boys look good. That's Hill. He's sitting on top of the hill. He's the only one on top of the hill. It's a beautiful day to be great.
First down and goal, inches away from the end zone. Joe Flacco is under center.
Right! 180! Let's go!
Tush push! Touchdown!
Let's go! 180! Let's go! 180! Let's go! 180! Let's go! Appreciate it. Hey, that was a ball. That was a ball. Tonight!
First and 10 from the 48.
180! Tonight! Turn tonight!
Flacco hands it off. Chase Brown was going to pitch it back on a flea flicker. That was covered up, so Chase said, you know what, I'll run. And he picks up 10 before being tackled by Quincy Williams.
That was a great job on the flea flicker. Oh, yeah. That was awesome. And you can see the guy come. That was great, dude. So good. 180! Tonight!
Flacco back to throw. Passes over the middle. Caught on the run. Chase Brown to the 5. Fighting for the goal line. He's in!
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Oh, you cold, boy! Just like practice, baby. Let's go! Hey, good ass catch and good ass finish, boy. Real talk. I'm about to be physical. I'm about to be physical as
Chase Brown lowers the pads into the end zone.
Chase! Hey, to me though, you was in.
All right, I did this. We got in anyway. I did this. Look at
You better come.
back at Samaje. That's the 1 yard.
That's about to come back. Tonight! 180! Tonight!
Here's a handoff to Samaje Perine, runs up the middle, inside the 20, racing to the 15, 10, 5, pylon, touchdown!
Go! Let's go! Let's go! Boy, I told you! Hell yeah! Hell yeah, brother!
Chase Brown has been hitting the open holes as the run game has surged in recent weeks. And coming up next, I sit down with the running back one-on-one. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. Since week 6, the Bengals run game has been surging, as both Chase Brown and Samaje Perine are among the league leaders in yards per carry, with Chase topping 100 scrimmage yards in back-to-back games, and the duo combining for 3 of the Bengals' touchdowns in Week 8. Now, earlier this week, I caught up with a third-year back. Here's our conversation. Well, Chase, you and the team are coming off your best team rushing game of the season, going for over 180 yards on the ground. Just how has the offense worked to build that consistency and balance in the run game, especially over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think consistency was what we needed. I think what really opened up the run game was our ability to spit the ball out on the perimeter. Being able to throw it out quick to Jamar is like an extended handoff, basically, because Jamar's like a running back if you give him space. And then outside of that, the O-line has stepped up in a huge way. Like if you go back and watch the last 2 weeks, they're playing like the best unit in the NFL. I'm really proud of everybody because it took a sec to get this thing going, but now that it's going and we have confidence in what we're doing, you can really see this run game come to life and see us build an identity.
What's been maybe your biggest focus when it comes to, developing and, going into this season to continue to build on what you did last year?
I went back and watched damn near every single run that we had this season. And one thing I took away was just, patience was something that, I could add to my game to, maybe help create more run lanes. Honestly, the last 2 weeks, I feel like it's helped a lot. Aside of that, we've been blocking extremely well, and we've been able to spit the ball to the perimeter, like I said earlier.
Now, you stepping into a larger role this season, getting Samaje Perine back in the mix with this team. Just how have you seen maybe your running backs room evolve over the course of the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think Samaje brings a ton of experience to our room. Like I'm going into year 3, but he's going into year 9 or 10. Like he's established, he's experienced, he's seen every single look. There's a lot to learn from a guy like that. And one thing I've really taken away though is, what he brings in the pass game as a protector. And, watching him run up and strike these linebackers, that's something that I, kind of added to my own game. Like I've always been decent in protection, but I feel like, this year I've definitely taken a step forward in, my aggressiveness and protection. So
now, Chase, it's always fun for us to watch when you really break away with a run or even, a catch out of the backfield. But tell us a little bit about your approach when it comes to those explosive plays.
And I think Coach Hill brings up a good point every single week is these explosives have one thing in common, and it's making somebody miss. Taking pride in winning those one-on-one matchups. When you win your one-on-ones, good things happen. That's where you turn a 10-yard run into a 40-yard run.
Now, I want to ask you, too, about the flea flicker play that didn't happen on Sunday. I mean, just your awareness and football IQ is just phenomenal in that moment. I know it's been talked about a ton throughout the football world this week. Just take me through not only that play, but really what was kind of going through your mind in that moment.
It's hard to tell. Was it a fake? I think this was a real flea flicker. I think Chase Brown saw that Flacco had somebody coming from his blind side.
That was a great job on the flea flicker.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. And you could see the guy. That was great, dude.
Coaches kind of tell you at the start of the week, like, hey, like if we get some sort of pressure or, somebody loses their one-on-one and Joe is compromised, don't throw the ball back. It's just kind of something that you keep in the back of your mind, and when that happens, you just react to it.
Well, Chase, the team right now is facing some adversity. Just how do you handle stretches where you're not seeing the team results that you're hoping for, but knowing that you still have to trust in the process?
Yeah, I truly believe this is where, the foundation and the leadership of the football team really kicks in. The things that need to be fixed get fixed, and we move on to the next game and get better. So in situations like this, as long as we're not pointing fingers and as long as we're, solid in that locker room, there's always another game. Obviously, last week wasn't the result that we wanted, but there were a lot of good things that happened. At the end of the day, we play this sport to win. We got this. I have full confidence in our team and our coaches in this locker room. Like, everybody's in there for a reason. It's really just whenever you're out there and you have that opportunity to make a play, make that play. It's as simple as that. Win that one-on-one, whatever it is.
Well, Chase, always appreciate you spending some time with us and looking forward to that next opportunity on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thanks.
Coming up, we check in with a trio who take a look at some of the best trades in Cincinnati history. Who Day Conversations is next here on Bengals Weekly. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. The team trading for Joe Flacco brought a spark to this Bengals offense, as Joe has come in and exceeded a lot of expectations. So it got us thinking, what have been some of the best trades the team has made over the years? Let's now send it over to Dan, Dave, and Jeff to give us their take.
It has only been 3 weeks, but I think we can all agree that the trade for Joe Flacco has been a huge success, as the Bengals got the best available quarterback for this offense in exchange for a swap of 5th and 6th round draft picks. And that leads to our topic for this Who Day conversation, What are the best trades in Bengals history? Lap, you're up first.
Ooh, best trades in Bengals history. I would say getting James Brooks and trading Pete Johnson to the then San Diego Chargers might be the best trade in Bengals history. James Brooks could do everything. He could run the football with the best of them. Rare power for a guy his size. I mean, he would run people over. Tacklers would come up to James Brooks hesitantly. They didn't know if he was going to cut inside, outside, or lower his shoulder pads and run him over, and he could do any and all of those things. He was also a tremendous blocker. I mean, his ability to blitz pickup was second to none. Ran precise routes. I mean, precision-like cuts. James Brooks thrived with Sam Weiss and the Cincinnati Bengals no-huddle offense and Boomer Esiason throwing him in football. I just talked with Boomer Esiason here when he was in town for my Ring of Honor ceremonies, and he said that James Brooks was without a doubt the best football player he ever played with.
The trade for James Brooks certainly on the list. Butch, how about you?
September 4th, 2010, the Bengals grab Reggie Nelson, a former Jaguars first-round pick. Reggie Nelson would play 93 for the Bengals and come up with 23 interceptions, sixth most on the Bengals all-time list and second by a safety, behind only the great David Fulcher. And six of Reggie's picks came against Big Ben Roethlisberger. That alone should have him canonized in Bengaldom. Two of the biggest picks in Bengals history. In 2012, 14 seconds left, makes the pick. They get the field goal to qualify for the playoffs. And then in 2015, the Bengals run the match to the AFC North, but only after Reggie has picks Big Ben twice in the 2015 game in Pittsburgh. The last one with 2:57 left to turn a 13-10 game into a 16-10 victory. For the 5 years he was roaming the middle of the field, the Bengals finished in the top 7 in NFL defense 3 times. Pretty good trade.
No doubt about it. All right, I'm going to turn the clock back to 1984, a year where the Bengals drafted linebacker Ricky Hunley. However, after failing to reach a contract with him, they traded his rights to Denver for a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fifth-round pick. The first-round pick was wide receiver Tim McGee, who spent 8 years with the Bengals and averaged more than 19 yards a catch on the 1988 Super Bowl team. But the third-round pick is why this goes down as one of the best trades in team history. It was David Fulcher, the 3-time Pro Bowler who helped revolutionize the safety position by bringing linebacker size into the secondary. He has the most interceptions of any safety in team history and wound up here thanks to a shrewd move by the front office. There you have it. 3 of the best trades in Bengals history, the subject of this week's Who Day conversation.
Sunday marks just the 13th meeting all time between the Bengals and the Bears, and the first time that these teams are squaring off on the gridiron since 2021. But you have to go back to 2009 to find the most points that Cincinnati has ever scored in this series. So let's now go into the vault and relive that Bengals offensive explosion.
Ball at the 9, 3rd down and 8. Drops to throw. Looks to the end zone, scrambling, rolling right. Looking, throwing, end zone. Got Chris Henry, touchdown!
Sweet! The Bengals are coming off the ball. They're fitting their blocks and they're finishing their blocks. And they know Cedric Benson is motivated. So they know if they just sustain a block a little bit longer, Cedric Benson is going to make the Bears defense pay.
Palmer pumps, end zone, throws, Chad, touchdown! He's looking for Chad, throwing to Chad, got Chad. Looking, throwing middle of the field, got Chad inside the 5, it's 1st and goal. And the Bengals are doing everything right today. 8-play drive, touchdown. 8-play drive, touchdown. 7-play drive, touchdown. They're now on 11-play drive and face a 3rd and 7 at the Bears 8. He looks left side, screen, bubble screen to Coles, into the end zone. Touchdown, Lavernius Coles. Cutler throws middle of the field, it's better in the air, it is picked up by Leon Hall. Coming back the other way, 35-30, inside the 25. Knox will take him down. Crowd on its feet. Here come the Bengals. Cutler to throw. He throws it up for grabs. It is picked off at the 10-yard line. Leon Hulk. Anything they want, they've gotten against the Bears.
The Chicago Bears have not stopped the Cincinnati Bengals yet.
Snap back to Palmer. Throws, end zone.
Oh,
touchdown, Ocho Cinco, his second on the day. Give it to Sed.
Boom.
He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Benson. He's got 153 yards on 29 carries and a touchdown.
Coming up, we'll step into the archives once again, as historically the Bengals have performed well in the month of November. And that 1981 season was a memorable ride. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. In Week 8 of the 1981 season, the Bengals were on the road in New Orleans, where they suffered a tough loss to the Saints. But that result ignited a fire, and the team would go on to have the most historic November in franchise history. Let's relive a November to remember with some of the key legends on that 81 squad.
In fact, I don't think any of the games in November were close.
They were over like late third quarter.
And Kenny Anderson is making mincemeat of this Cleveland Browns secondary.
All of a sudden, we went from a 5-3 record to a 10-3 record. And everybody's kind of looking at each other thinking, we're pretty good. We might be able to get something done here.
So we go down in New Orleans 5-2, and I've been playing pretty decent. How do I say it politely? We got whacked. So now we're 5-3, and I think that just kind of woke us up and said, hey, we have some work to do.
I think we had great leadership from our head coach, Forrest Gregg, at that time. I mean, I always say that he made us tough both mentally and physically. And we had played a lot of good football. We had been through the ringer in our division. We knew the teams that we were playing, and now it's just a matter of going out and executing.
I think this team really needed discipline. I think it needed direction. And I think that it takes that to become a winner. Regardless of the score, regardless of the circumstance, never, ever, ever quit.
You know, they say you got to win in November if you're going to go to the playoffs. And we had 5 games, all against playoff contending teams in November.
But there were 5 games that fell that calendar month, and it was against good football teams.
Against Houston, the Bengals built a 34-7 lead with a defensive charge that forced 4 Oiler turnovers. Cincinnati coasted into first place in the AFC Central.
Cincinnati can't savor this too long. They've got to go on the road next week and face the Chargers at San Diego.
I'd have to say that Charger game was extra special. I go back to that big hoopla about Eric Coryell.
Eric Coryell once again represented the most prolific passing weapon in NFL history.
As an offensive line, we used to love taking our helmet, taking a knee kind of on the opposite side of where the defense was coming to. And I'll never forget Louis Breeden picking off Dan Fouts.
To the corner, it's intercepted in the end zone. Louis Breeden picks it up, running along the sideline.
And we got to watch the entire run because we were on the far end.
And he will go for a touchdown. Louis Breeden just really shattered the San Diego Chargers.
So I'd say that play right there is probably the play that was like, okay, we're clicking now.
During that month of November, it was crazy. I mean, it just built. It just built. Fell in love with the football team.
Well, this young Bengal team, they're on fire. They've been a very opportunistic team here, offensively and defensively.
I never felt until just recently that these people were tough enough. But mister, they have convinced me now.
But I think the big one was when Denver came in. They had the top-rated defense in the league, and we just shredded them.
Anderson again back to throw. It's a 3-man rush. Looks, fires down, touchdown, right down the middle. Caught by Collinsworth. Handoff, Alexander dives over. No, it's carrying the ball around the right side. Anderson, he is in for the touchdown. Great fake by Kenny Anderson.
I mean, I think I almost had about 400 yards passing. We ran the ball, and it wasn't a close game.
Beat Johnson ripped through the right side with 39 yards for a touchdown. The clock is running out, and the Bengals have knocked off the Denver Broncos to hold on to a 2-game lead in the AFC Central Division and post the best record in the AFC, now with a mark of 9-3.
Forrest Gregg, he had a chip in his shoulder from being fired, by the Cleveland Browns. We had to beat Cleveland in Cleveland. And it's the fourth quarter. They're going down the field to tie. Brian Sipe is sitting in the pocket. No one blocks me.
Reggie Williams, a delayed blitz right between the shoulder blades. Whoa.
And that's the third turnover of the ball game for the Browns. For Forrest Gregg, this victory especially sweet for him when he wins back in Cleveland.
What we're seeing is the fruits of hard work, hard labor. Nothing was really given to us. Everything was done with our own blood and guts and with our own selves. We support each other, and now we have our fans supporting us in the media. It's really exciting.
We knew we were going to be a pretty good football team after that stretch.
That month in November, and it solidified in everybody's minds that if we played to our capability and didn't make mistakes and didn't beat ourselves, other teams were going to have a hell of a hard time beating us.
The way you practice, the way you win, the way you execute, really you start to build confidence. You have confidence that you can run the ball, as we were able to. You have confidence that your quarterback's going to pick people apart. You have confidence that your defense is going to give the opposing offense some headaches. I think it added a lot to that run, getting into the playoffs and getting to the Super Bowl.
Coming up next, we check in with Adam Archuleta, who will be in the broadcast booth for CBS on Sunday. Game preview is straight ahead here on Bengals Weekly. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. The Bengals wrap up their 2025 NFC North Tour this weekend when they host the Bears at Paycor Stadium, as Chicago enters at 4-3 after falling last week to Baltimore. Adam Archuleta will be back in the broadcast booth for CBS this weekend as he now joins our Dan Horde.
For the second straight week, former NFL safety Adam Archuleta will be in the booth broadcasting the Bengals game on CBS. The Bengals have had 142 and 181 rushing yards in the last 2 weeks. The Bears are giving up more than 140 on the ground per game this season. How important do you view that for this Sunday?
I think it's critically important. Just the ability to have balance. Teams are going to dedicate their resources to stop and chase and Higgins. Defense to me is all about how do you use the extra man. And you saw many times in that game on Sunday where the Jets used the extra person to cover Chase or to double Higgins. And many times you saw Joe check to a run. Same thing happened in the Pittsburgh game. Just being able to play the game within the game and be able to capitalize and get those explosive runs gives you one more thing that you have to think about on defense, whose name is not Chase and Higgins.
You are a defensive back. What do you think of Bengals cornerback DJ Turner, who's currently leading the NFL in passes defensed?
What I'm seeing is a player that in man coverage is really starting to trust himself, and he's really starting to play with great patience. He's playing with good leverage. I mean, that's the key for any defensive back, is understanding where is your help, where can I be strong, and knowing that, yes, I've got this great speed, so I can be more patient. And then every cornerback, the better you can go and play the football, and you can go take that ball away and not just be a cover guy, but really look for the football. I mean, the interception he had in that Pittsburgh game was just incredible. So I'm seeing a player that's starting to believe in his abilities and play at a much more confident level than we've seen him play.
The Bears lead the NFL in turnover ratio. What jumps out when you watch that Bears D?
In their 4 wins, they've had 3 games with 4 takeaways and 1 game with 3 takeaways. In their losses, they had no takeaways. It's just simple math. You give your offense more possessions, you take possessions away from the other team, you have a much better chance of winning. That has been the Bears' formula. They didn't do it this last week against Baltimore, and they ended up losing that game.
It's been a crazy first half of the season in the AFC North. What is your view of the state of affairs in this division?
At the end of the day, it's going to come down to December football. I still think the Bengals have a chance to find themselves in this. I think Baltimore still, if they get Lamar back, has a chance to find themselves in it. Every single team here in the AFC North, outside of the Browns, they have some issues they have to fix, and they have to play perfect football down the stretch.
Adam, safe travels back to Cincinnati this weekend, and thanks so much for your time.
Now, the Bears are coming off a game where they gave up 30 points to Baltimore and were without 3 of their top corners. But Zach Taylor and this roster know those numbers can't be overlooked, as Chicago hasn't surrendered over 360 total yards of offense to a team since week 2.
They're first in the league in turnover margin. They've had a ton of takeaways, picks, fumbles. Got guys that have a real knack for taking the ball away from people, anticipating throws, doing a great job with their coverage structures, of being in a position to be aggressive.
Very sound defense. They don't do too many things normal down-wise, overly crazy.
Big athletic guys. Their linebackers are really good. Their DBs, they're good through and through.
So we just have to find a way to do what we can to score points and win.
Caleb does a really good job of play action, things like that. They got really good receivers over there too with Rome and DJ Moore. So the way Caleb's running the offense right now, they're doing really well for themselves.
Any quarterback that's mobile, you don't want them to just get out the pocket because you want your DBs to do DB stuff. You want them to cover the receivers and tight ends and not worry about the quarterback.
His ability to extend plays, get outside the pocket and be able to throw and run has been big for him. We got to contain them.
At the end of the day, we just got to do our job, get the ball back to our offense, let them do them. It all starts with stopping the run. I feel like if we stop the run, we can do everything we want to do this week.
I think everybody picks everybody up. The quarterback lifting up others lifting up the quarterback. That's part of what a great unit does, is find different ways for different guys to step up, whatever position they play may be, and find a way to get the most out of everybody. And sometimes people are so hell-bent on taking away our receivers. It opens up a great opportunity, and our guys have done a good job maximizing that, and we have to keep that up.
Definitely very important, so if we can get the run game going, it'll be a plus for our team and our offense. I think that'll be a big thing.
Everyone's had great energy, the right intent. Everyone wants to play well on defense and help us win games, and offense has to do their job as well. Special teams got to step up and do their job as well.
We just have to keep at it. We can't let what happened last week get us down. We just have to go in and week out and do what we can, offensively to put us in a position to win games.
A lot of flying around, now the guys having energy in practice. The energy feel like it's, been up, ever since the loss. So that's always a good sign.
I feel like it's a huge opportunity, to put ourselves in place to be where we want to be in the division. I feel like the first thing we got to do is take care of this week.
Up next, it's Contipelli's Countdown, where I'll tell you how the duo of Brown and Pirine have been among the league's best. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly. Back with you on Bengals Weekly, where we have turned the page to the month of November. And while the temperatures may be cooling off, the same doesn't apply for Ja'Marr Chase, as the chase is on for Uno to cement himself among the best to ever play the game. Ja'Marr Chase brings in the longest active streak in the NFL with 4 straight games of at least 90 receiving yards, as his 42 targets over the last 2 games is the most in a 2-game span in NFL history. And if Uno catches at least 10 passes on Sunday, he would join Calvin Johnson as the only players in NFL history with 4 consecutive games with 10 or more receptions. Chase is leading the league with 70 receptions on the year, as his 720 receiving yards is tops in the AFC and second in the NFL.
Throws it high and deep. T. Higgins catches at the 5, runs into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals.
Well, T. Higgins has a streak of his own, as his 8 straight home games with a touchdown is the longest active streak in the league and tied for the longest in team history. If Higgins finds the end zone again on Sunday, he would become just the 3rd player in the Super Bowl era with a touchdown reception in 9 straight home games. T can also join the 5K club this weekend. All he needs is 45 receiving yards. Once Higgins reaches that milestone, he will become the 5th fastest in franchise history to 5,000 receiving yards. And the run game has taken flight thanks to co-pilots Chase Brown and Samaje Perine. During the month of October, the Bengals posted the league's highest rushing success rate. And since week 6, both running backs are among the league leaders in yards per carry average, as Brown is 3rd in the league, averaging 7 yards per carry, and Perine is right behind him at 4th, averaging 6.4. Perine's 10.4 yards per carry last week was 5th highest among players with at least 9 carries, as it was also his highest single game average of his career when he's logged at least 2 touches.
Flacco waits for a shotgun snap, catches the ball shoulder high, back to throw, passes over the middle, caught on the run, Chase Brown to the 5, fighting for the goal line, he's in! Touchdown, Bengals!
Last week also marked the second straight game where Brown posted at least 100 scrimmage yards. It was also the second time in his career where he scored a rushing and receiving touchdown. And Brown's 5 runs for first downs was the most he has had in a single game this season and is tied for second most in his career. And as the Bears come to town, the Bengals look to take the edge in the all-time series matchup. Chicago scored a season-low 16 points in Week 8, snapping their 4-game win streak. Quarterback Caleb Williams hasn't scored a touchdown over the last 2 games for the Bears offense. And outside of Week 3, Williams has thrown only 5 touchdowns on the season. Chicago has also had its struggles in the red zone, posting a 47 red zone touchdown percentage, 7th lowest in the league. When we return, it's time for Social Spotlight, where we'll show you how the Bengals were making a positive impact in the community. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly. Coup Day Nation, it's time to recognize our high school coaches. Nominate your coach for the Bengals Coach of the Week presented by Paycor. Visit Bengals.com/Coach of the Week for more information. It's now time for our weekly Social Spotlight segment, and it's fitting for us to begin this week with one of my favorite things to hear at Paycor Stadium, T. Now, T. Higgins had the 5th longest touchdown in the league last week when Joe Flacco threw a dime to 5 that went for 44 yards. That score also kept T's home touchdown streak alive in the process at 8 straight. Now, Chase Brown, well, he has been tearing it up, and the Canadian received some love from the homeland, DAZN giving Chase their gold medal amongst Canadian players from last week. Brown, of course, went off for over 100 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, you have to see this. Amarius Mims proudly wears the 71 now. But before his time, Big Willie Anderson donned those numbers at right tackle. And you gotta love when you see Willie giving some love to Amarius, and also great to see that these two linked up pregame before the Jets game a week ago. And I would love to be a fly on the wall during their conversations at times, just to see and hear the advice that Willie is giving to Amarius. We also had the Bengals out in the community this week as they helped build a ramp for a local military veteran. We will have more on this story in our next Bengals Weekly show, Week 11. And a big congratulations to Lamar Parrish and Dave Lapham, who were formally inducted into the Bengals Ring of Honor at halftime of last week. Make sure you are following along with the Bengals social media channels. All you have to do to find us is search @Bengals and give us a follow. The Bears and Bengals kick off Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch all of the action on your local CBS station. You can also check out one of the streaming options, including Paramount Plus in market, NFL Sunday Ticket out of market, and NFL Game Pass internationally. And as always, you can listen in to Dan Horde and Dave Lapham on the Bengals Radio Network. Thanks for tuning in to Bengals Weekly. Kickoff between the Bears and the Bengals is coming up. For Dan Horde, Dave Lapham, Jeff Hobson, and our entire crew, I'm Marissa Contipelli. We'll see you after the bye. Bengals Weekly was brought to you by Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. AltaFiber, the official Wi-Fi and internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. And Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals.